Imagine spending 3 hours grinding grass seeds between two rocks. No recipe. No reason to believe it'll work. Just grinding. For hours. Getting maybe a spoonful of gritty paste for your trouble. If you saw a caveman doing this today, you'd assume he'd lost his mind. But that pointless behavior? It's the reason you're not hunting your breakfast right now. This is the story of how humanity's dumbest-looking habits became its greatest discoveries, starting with the one that changed everything, agriculture. Picture the world about 20,000 years ago. Long before farms. Long before bread. Just wild grasses swaying across the landscape, the ancestors of wheat and barley. These seeds are tiny. Hard. Basically inedible raw. Try chewing a handful of raw wild wheat, and you'll get a mouthful of husks and almost zero nutrition for the effort. By any sane logic, these seeds should have been ignored. Hunting a deer gets you thousands of calories in one afternoon. Grinding grass seeds gets you a weak, gritty gruel after hours of labor. So why did anyone bother? Probably desperation. A bad hunting season. A drought. A stretch of bad luck where meat was scarce and starving people were willing to try anything, including grinding weeds into paste out of pure hunger. And that's the moment everything changed. Here's the part almost nobody expected. Grinding those tiny, useless-looking seeds broke open their cell walls. Suddenly, calories that were completely locked away became digestible. That gritty paste, cooked over a fire, turned into an early form of porridge or flatbread. For the first time, humans had unlocked a stable, storable, high-calorie food source that didn't run away, didn't need to be hunted, and could be cultivated on purpose. This wasn't a genius insight. Nobody sat down and said, I hypothesize that mechanically processing cellulose will unlock caloric bioavailability. It was trial and error. Repetition. Somebody noticed, hey, when we grind it and cook it, it actually fills us up. And they kept doing it. Here's where the story gets even more interesting. Once people were regularly gathering and grinding these seeds, they started noticing something else. Seeds that fell near camp grew again next season. In the same spot. That observation, that dropped seeds became new plants, is the entire seed of agriculture. Pun intended. People began deliberately scattering seeds near their settlements instead of wandering to find wild patches. Over dozens of generations, they started favoring plants with bigger seeds, easier husks, and better yields, without even understanding genetics. Just picking the seeds that worked best and planting those again. This is called selective breeding, but 12,000 years ago, nobody called it anything. It was just the seeds that grow good we keep. Within a few thousand years, this snowballed into the Neolithic Revolution, the point where humans stopped following food and started making food come to them. Villages formed. Populations grew. Property, surplus, and eventually writing and government followed, because now humans had extra food to store, trade, and fight over. All of it, civilization, cities, writing, taxes, traces back to someone somewhere grinding grass seeds out of hunger and boredom. And here's the wild part. This exact pattern shows up again and again in prehistory. Someone kept banging two rocks together to make sharp tools, and accidentally discovered fire from the sparks. Someone kept chewing tree resin to soften it for glue, and accidentally invented the earliest form of chewing gum, with antiseptic side effects they didn't understand. Someone stored milk in a dried animal stomach for travel, and accidentally invented cheese, because the natural enzymes in the stomach lining curdled it. None of these people had a hypothesis. None of them understood why it worked. They just noticed, this weird, repetitive thing produces a good result. And they kept doing it, and told others to do it too. That's the real engine of early human innovation. Not brilliance. Repetition plus attention. Doing something strange enough times that eventually, someone notices the payoff. So next time you eat bread, drink beer, or eat cheese, remember, every single one of those started as something that looked completely pointless or even crazy at the time. Grinding seeds for hours for barely any food. Chewing bark. Leaving milk in a bag until it went weird. These weren't planned experiments. They were acts of curiosity, boredom, or desperation that got repeated long enough to become permanent. And honestly, that's kind of the story of all innovation, even today. Most breakthroughs don't start with a lightning bolt of genius. They start with someone doing something a little strange, a little repetitive, and being curious enough to ask, wait, why did that work? If you like this, you'll probably love the story of how sailors accidentally discovered vitamins just by eating citrus fruit. or how a moldy piece of bread led to antibiotics. Let me know in the comments which one you want covered next. Subscribe if you want more stories of humans stumbling into greatness by accident, because honestly, that's most of history.